Story time. So today we are in the book of Esther, chapter 6. And Esther is just it's full of it's full of so many things. I recommend you read it. So the book of Esther, chapter 6. It's starting the the scene is starting, the king can't sleep. So the king of that time, he can't sleep. So if the king can't sleep, then no one sleeps. So what do? They bring him records of the things that were happening, events that had happened, just to try and calm him down, just to try and, I don't know, get him entertained. So the record they are reading in this particular chapter is a record where a man called Mordecai had saved the king's life. And now the king is asking them, what did we do to reward this man? And they're like, nothing. So the king is like, oh, who of my officials is in the palace right now? And they're like, Haman is here. Now Haman was there. Oh my god, you have to listen to this story to the end. So Haman was there to get the king have Mordecai hanged, because Haman didn't like Mordecai just because he was a Jew, and because Mordecai had refused to bow down to this man called Haman. Haman was a twisted person. So the king is asking who is here, and his servants are telling him that Haman is there, and Haman was one of his most trusted officials. So he was like, have him come in. So when Haman comes in, the king asks him, uh, if I was to honor someone, what would you recommend I do? And Haman, oh my god, Haman thinks that the sun revolves around him. So he's like, of course it's me. Who else? Who else can the king, who else can the king be referring to or referencing to? Who else can the king want to honor more than me? So he's like, I think he's telling now the king his recommendations. I mean, now he's thinking these things will be done to me, so he's recommending everything. He's ordering these Bentleys, he's ordering convoys, he's ordering mansions, he's ordering these designer suits. That's the modern day Haman. But Haman in this particular chapter, he's like, have your own royal robes dressed, on this guy. Have your gold chains on him, your gold rings, and a horse, and one of your horses, and have an official, take him around the city square, and just tell everyone, shout to everyone that this is a man that the king honors. So the king tells him, hurry, go and go and get Mordecai. You'll find him at the entrance of the palace gates. Go get him and do everything just as you have described. Yeah, yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Of course, Haman is like, oh my god. So Haman does that, and Haman goes around the city square with Mordecai on top of this magnificent horse, just shouting, "Look, this is the man that the king wishes to honor. This is how the king treats the man that he wishes to honor." And after that, Mordecai goes back to his spot, and Haman with goes back to, goes back home. And the Bible tells us that he covered his face in shame. And when he got home, his wife is telling him, and his friends are telling him, "Yo, this man will be your downfall. This man, this man will be the man that brings you down." So that's the story. I recommend you read on because when you read on, you'll see that what they told him happened exactly like that. And the gallows that he had set up to hang Mordecai on just happened to be the gallows that he got hanged on. So, I mean, this is a story of this story makes me so glad to know that no one in this life can change God's plan upon your life. Absolutely no one. It doesn't matter the status they have right now. It doesn't matter what they are doing, what shenanigans they are trying to do. No one, absolutely no one, has the power to change God's plan over you. They can delay it. They can plan and maybe even derail it somehow. but no one can ever change God's plan over your life. And you know, delay doesn't mean denial in God's eyes. God works behind the scenes. I mean, Haman going to that palace, he didn't know that he was going actually to work in favor of Mordecai. So God works behind the scenes. Oh my God, I love this story. I love the book of Esther, but this part just, I go back to this part and I'm laughing the whole day. I'm laughing the whole day because this is how God fights our battles if we allow Him. So today, it doesn't matter what you've been told, what has been done against you. It really doesn't matter what someone is trying to do to derail what God has planned for you. Because when God goes to battle for you, He makes sure even your enemies bow down. So today, go in that go in that belief that no one is stopping God's plan of your life. So keep doing, actually don't do you. Do what God commands. Yes. Do what God commands. And do it with grace and do it with love and do it with compassion and stand for what you believe in. Mordecai didn't bow down to this man because the only person that we should bow to is our God. So God is working for your good. You best believe that. God is working for your good. And honor, the ultimate honor comes from God. They're not from people. That's where real honor comes from. So I hope you get encouraged by this story. And I recommend, please go read the book of Esther. It's really interesting. It's one of those books that is full of hope and full of resilience, full of faith. And you see how people who believe in God and decide that God, we're following you no matter what, and people who allow God to fight their battles, you'll see how they get rewarded. So please go on and read that story. And I hope you get encouraged. And I hope you smile, knowing that God is fighting your battles for you. And knowing that He sees you and He loves you and He wants the best for you. Thank you.